Hi, I'm Lindsay, and it has been a little over 1 month since I had weight loss surgery. And so today I wanted to dive into how I'm doing, how the last few weeks have been, and give you guys an update on all of that. So let's get into it. Some of you have been asking over on Instagram, where I hang out most of the time, how I've been doing since I had my weight loss surgery at the end of January 2021. And so I wanted to come back over to YouTube. I feel like that's still the best platform for me to do these updates, and just let you guys know how it's been going for me. So about 2 weeks after surgery, I went into my doctor and he looked at my progress. He was very happy with how I was progressing so far, and he cleared me for at that point it was for puree food. I had been on a liquid only diet. It was not a clear liquid, it was like full liquid, so I could have like broths and creamy soups and stuff like that. So he cleared me for puree, which is essentially baby food, and also for basically any kind of exercise that I wanted to do. I'm putting exercise on the back burner for the moment. Really want to focus on nutrition, give that my full attention. Whenever I've done any sort of kind of weight loss things in the past, I've always done it the reverse way. I've always gotten really into exercise and then maybe tried with nutrition, and then anyways, usually it was very much exercise led and then nutrition came second. So I'm reversing that, and I'm also trying to dedicate my full attention to relearning how to eat, because essentially, as I said, baby food, I'm basically starting out like a baby. So I've been thinking of my little stomach that I have as a baby. And then just in case it's not clear, the surgery that I had is called a Sadi. That's usually what it's called. Also, some other names for it are like a modified duodenal switch or the loop DS. It has a few different names. Essentially, in a nutshell, what it is they give you a sleeve, like the sleeve gastrectomy, but maybe it's like a little bit bigger than the sleeve. And then they take your intestines right underneath the stomach, and they basically like kind of loop it up and leave some intestines that are just kind of free floating. So it shortens the length that the food will travel. So there is a malabsorptive effect from that, as well as a restrictive element from the sleeve. So that's kind of the surgery I had. It sort of gives you a little bit of the gastric sleeve, and then a little bit of the bypass. So it is one of the more aggressive weight loss surgeries that you can have. There is the full version of what I had done that's even more aggressive. So this is like scaling back slightly, hopefully to have a few less to help with the malabsorption, because that can be really a problem. So because of that, because of the malabsorptive aspect, and also the fact that I'm eating so much less, vitamins are like a huge part. Actually, you can see right here, I swapped out my makeup that used to be in there, and I added all my vitamins to just sort of keep them organized and in one spot. So not the prettiest thing to look at, but just to kind of organize it. There's a lot. I won't go into it too deep in here. And then I also have a vitamin kind of shot machine thing that it's a whole thing. So it's called the Tespo. So if you're interested, you can look that up and look into it. So I'm trying out couple of different things, trying to do what my doctor says. That's definitely like a whole, that's part of the journey that's hard too, but it's like, what's harder, being big or having to take vitamins every day? It is a lot though. I have to take vitamins about 4 times a day, mainly because you need to space out things like your calcium and your iron, because they don't absorb well together. So it was kind of a headache, but thankfully I have a nutritionist through my doctor's office who kind of put me on like a schedule and help me understand, and I can ask questions too whenever I want. So I do feel like I'm getting a handle on that. Not well enough to be able to be like, here's how to do it, but I'm kind of figuring out that element of it, and I won't know for a while. They'll do my labs every so often, and I'll know if like what I'm doing is working and is enough. So hopefully, I'm also on like a ton of biotin because I know that my hair is going to be falling out soon. It's just part of the surgery. One of the not so fun aspects of getting weight loss surgery is the kind of shock to your body causes most people to start losing hair. I experienced that after having babies. I'm anticipating this will be even worse than that. But again, it's one of those things where benefits, cost benefit kind of I'm not stressing over it, and I'm sure it'll suck when it comes, but I'm just trying to take things as they come with this journey. So there's enough to stress about right now without worrying about all that. So I am trying to stay up on, I'm also doing a lot of collagen, which is great for protein, and then it's also great for the hair. So I do like collagen peptides. I drink that almost every day. Just comes like in a powder form, and you can mix it in with almost any liquid. And I do think it's made my skin like glowier than normal. Both me and my husband noticed like a change in my complexion. So I kind of wish I'd been doing collagen way sooner than this. But anyways, that's some of the things that I have had to supplement and kind of been working on. All right, next up, mentally. So mentally, next I want to talk about how I'm doing mentally. So initially right after surgery, and actually right before too, the liquid diet itself was so hard. I can't even put into words how difficult it was. It totally messed with my mind. It made me question, should I even do the surgery? Can I live my whole life like this? And then afterwards, like, what did I do? Why did I do this? This was dumb. Those kind of thoughts definitely came to my mind. I tried to keep perspective. I'd heard that this happened. So I wouldn't say I was like despairing, but it was a lot heavier than I anticipated it to be. It was really hard. And I've noticed that with parts of this journey so far, you might get some results that feel like super fast, but you're putting in a lot of work before. And then also when you reach moments like right after, when you're on like the liquid diet and recovering from the surgery, it is taking like the pain of what it is to lose like a lot of weight in a longer amount of time. And not only are you shortening the time, but you're kind of concentrating, I feel like, the pain in some ways. And so for me, it was really intense, and it's gotten a lot easier since I've been able to eat pureed foods. I've also discovered, much to a little bit of my dismay, that I still have an appetite. Thought that would be gone. So that's been interesting. It was my kind of understanding, sort of the promise I felt like I was given from the other physicians and even other people who've gone through the surgery, was like, oh, you don't have the ghrelin hormone, and so you don't really feel hunger. You kind of have to like force yourself to eat. And that has not been the case for me at all. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think there's definitely good and bad things about that. Going along with that, I've also had no problem eating basically whatever I want. Except for tomatoes. Those did not sit well. Very like acid refluxy, but anyways. Ugh, which is heartbreaking because I love tomatoes so much. Okay, anyways. As far as food goes, I've been trying to keep my diet still very like protein heavy. That's kind of the goal, is to lead with protein and get lots of water. Like those are the two main goals. But a lot of people struggle with things like, especially like beef, like ground beef can be really hard, steak, those kind of things. I've tried like all of them. I had no problem with them. My body handled them fine. A lot of people say it feels like they get stuck in your throat and stuff. Went right down. Had no issues. So again, I feel like that's one of those things where I think it's a blessing and I'm grateful for it. But then it also is hard because it's like I could probably have anything. I did have something that I shouldn't have had the other day. Family was having a treat, and I've had like one or two bites of things before and been fine, but I had a few more bites than I should have of that particular thing, and I did not feel, my body definitely reacted to that. So there is some of that still there for me, and I haven't pushed it, and I don't think that would be wise for me to really push those things. But as far as the things that like are good for me that I should be eating, especially different kinds of meats and stuff that have a lot of protein, I can eat those just fine, which I love. I'm trying really hard to transition to getting most of my protein from my food as opposed to getting it from supplements. I hate the protein shakes. I don't want to drink them. I've stopped buying them for me, but my family's decided that they love the protein shakes, so my husband keeps buying the protein shakes and he drinks them. So he's on protein shakes. I am on refried beans and chicken and all kinds of yummy things. So that's been nice to feel a little bit more normal and be able to eat some more normal type food. It definitely has helped me mentally feel like, okay, this is something I can do, something that's sustainable. And I'm trying to go into my eating as being, I don't want to be too intense. I've been too intense in the past, and I know that leads me to binging. So I'm trying to be gentle and kind of open to things, but also realizing that I'm at a stage right now where my stomach is still brand new and I need to really baby it right now. So I'm trying to balance those two things where I'm trying not to be overly restrictive, but recognizing that there are restrictions that I have to deal with right now and not trying to push past those and cause myself any harm. So that's kind of how the eating is going at 1 month. Taking a water break. I am using straws. Sue me. But yeah, I love my giant water bottle, and I know that if I can get about 2 of these in a day, that's a ton of water, and I know that that's doing me a lot of good. Water is so important, but it's hard because like I used to just like chug a good amount of water like a couple of times a day, and then I would sip throughout the day too, but you can't do that anymore. And now that it's actually getting late, I should probably stop it with the water because it does kind of come back up as I lay down, as gross as that sounds. So, I have noticed I have to relearn how my stomach works and functions. So things like I need to stop eating and drinking past a certain time at night, not because it's like a diet rule, but because literally it will be very uncomfortable when I'm sleeping and I can kind of feel it coming back up and stuff. So there are things like that. I'm kind of getting to know my new stomach, and it's a little bit trial and error, and the errors suck, but I learn more every day. And I know that this is the big question people have is like, how much weight have you lost? And I don't mind the question, and I'm happy to answer the question. But I'm trying to focus my mind on not letting that be the defining factor of my success. That's not the reason I got the surgery, was necessarily because I was really focused on my weight, but because the weight was the catalyst for other issues in my life. So solving the weight issue solves those other issues. But I really don't want to get back to that feeling that I had when I was younger and just like so focused on that number on the scale. And there have been times where I do weigh myself every morning, and there are some mornings where I've been up a pound or two, and then other mornings I'll drop a big chunk, and it's not it's not like this. It's kind of like this, but heading down. So I've been wondering how to approach that on this channel when I do updates and stuff, because I'm not a private person and I have no problem sharing, but I'm having that dilemma, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start a little bit on how I've been feeling and kind of talk about those things first, and I will give you the numbers because I know you want them and whatever. So clothing wise, like for instance, this shirt fit me really well like a year or two ago, and then as I started gaining weight, I started to get kind of extra tight in the arms and kind of tight on my chest, and just kind of was a little bit more clingy on my stomach than I wanted it to be, and now it's fitting a lot better, and I feel like I could comfortably wear it again, and that's exciting. I'm wearing a pair of jeans. Not at this moment. I'm actually wearing stretchy pants because you can't see it on camera, but when I do wear jeans, I'm actually wearing a pair of jeans that I wore that I couldn't, the last time I was able to fit into them was before I had my 4th baby. So that's exciting. And at first they were tight, and now they're starting to get a little bit looser. So, I mean, those things feel really good, of course. But then at the same time, I feel like exactly the same. It's a weird thing. And I've heard this is really normal, and I'll probably just keep getting worse, but, it's kind of harder to see it in yourself. I do feel like I noticed my face is thinned out maybe a little bit. And then I've definitely lost weight in like one boob. Like they're both going down a little bit, but like one decided to go down a lot more. So thank you for making me lopsided, but whatever, it is what it is. And then just other than that, like I do feel like I have more energy in and I'm more motivated to do stuff during the day. Like I was honestly for a while there living from the couch, like getting up only when I had to, doing the bare minimum that I had to do. You know, because I am a mom of 4 kids. They did keep me busy. It kept me up and down. I've never had a problem on my Apple Watch reaching my standing up every hour because it's just not an option. But I would always retreat back to like a comfy spot and try to just like move as little as possible. And I find myself feeling like I can move around easier and it's less of a chore to get stuff done and to do things around the house, and I'm not sitting down as much, and I'm having to make it be a conscious choice because it's so easy to want to revert to those things just because they're comfortable and they're familiar. And so I'm having to remind myself that like I don't have to sit on the couch anymore. Like I have some more energy than I used to and I can do things. And so I've been just trying to keep myself busy today. I'm almost on top of the laundry, although I walked into the laundry room and realized that there's a big stack of clothes that still need to be washed. I'll never be on top of laundry no matter how much energy I have. There's just too many of us and too much clothes, but I'm closer than I have in the past on laundry, so go me. But just kind of stuff like that, and cooking dinner hasn't been as much of a chore, and it's kind of been fun to figure out how I can make things that like both me and my family can enjoy. Like I'm trying to up the veggies and stuff for my family, and I'm able to kind of eat more cooked vegetables now, and trying to create like a dish that has maybe like some sort of carb or something for them that like I'm not really eating right now just because I have to prioritize the meat and then some veggies, and then there's just no room left for like the carby stuff. So for them, like maybe I'll pair their meal with like rice or pasta or potatoes or whatever. But for me, you know, I'm mostly just sticking with like the protein veggie kind of situation. And honestly, I've been very satisfied with that. I think I don't fully give credit to the fact that I'm not feeling deprived by not having the carbs. So I think there's more there than like I've maybe noticed. It's hard to see it in yourself and stuff, but I really don't overly miss a lot of the carbs and stuff that my family is eating. And I think eventually I'll bring some of that back into my diet. It's not a forever thing, but because I malabsorb so much, I just need so much protein and I can only eat so much, so protein has to come first. And that's fine. And that's where I'm at right now. Moving on. So let's talk about the weight, okay? Here we go. Here's the numbers. Sorry to make you wait till the end to hear that. I started this weight loss journey about 340, 339, 340. So pretty heavy. My doctor has said that I could lose like 200 pounds, which I think is huge. And that would put me to the size I was in like high school. Maybe even a little bit smaller than that, which is just, again, insane. Probably about the same as high school. Honestly, I just want more how I feel, but I would be happy to get a course back under 200 would feel really good. So as far as weight loss goes, I lost about 10 pounds before surgery. And then at my 2-week appointment with my doctor, I had lost an additional 20 pounds. And now I'm at about a little over 40 pounds weight loss total. There was a little chunk of time, about a week, where I didn't lose a lot. It kind of stalled, which is apparently super normal when you start like more real food. So once I kind of moved from baby food to soft foods, about the soft food stage was when I would like kind of dip and then go up a little bit and dip. So I just sort of stayed, I think overall that week I still lost maybe like 3 pounds. But it definitely felt like, I was like, oh, okay, well, we're done with going down, and try not to get too discouraged about it. But then it picked back up and now it's moving back down again. And I just need to remember that the scale does not control my happiness. And also that it's not always going to go down, and that's fine. So that's kind of where I am stats wise. So I did, if you're doing the math, I did drop below 300 pounds. So that feels really good. I'm not going to lie. That is a great feeling. It was definitely part of my wake up call when I hit that 300-pound mark after I had my last baby. I was real close when I got pregnant with her. I was at about like 290, and I always lose weight when I'm pregnant. Don't hate me. I gain it when I nurse. So I dropped down a little bit below that, gave birth, and then once I start nursing, it just goes right up. And that's when I broke into the 300s, and that was an uncomfortable moment. I'm not gonna lie. I think that goes without saying. I still tried not to let the scale like define my happiness and stuff, but it's hard to ignore when your weight starts with a 3, not even a 2. When healthy wise, I'd really like to be more in the 1 range. So I am under 300 pounds. I think I'm at like 296 right now or something like that. So that feels really, really good. So I guess that's more like 45 pounds lost, almost 44. Anyways, so I feel really good. I'm really happy with that. I know that it'll be slower than it was initially. I mean, when you're only having liquids for 2 weeks, you're gonna lose weight. And I don't need it to be that fast. That was kind of fun. Although my scale broke. I don't know if I complained about this. Not broke, but my scale was like off by a little bit. So I thought I hadn't lost weight. And then I like recalibrated it, and I like instantly lost 10 pounds. And I was like, well, that would have been good to know when I thought I was stalling. Anyways, I'm getting on tangent. I feel like this is already super long. I'm sorry if you made it here. Yay, I'm glad. Hopefully this is helpful to you. I feel like it's helpful to me to kind of verbalize some of these things, and it's definitely helping me kind of process and go through this and realize kind of how far I've come. I can't believe it's been a month since I had the surgery. In some ways it feels longer, and in some ways it feels like it just happened. I can't believe I had the surgery and went through with it. It's all just mind-blowing. So that's where I'm at. And I've had people reach out to me with questions, or people who've been already down the process or considering the process and feel like they're maybe bothering me with your questions. Just know you're never bothering me. I'm always happy to chat about this stuff. So find me over on Instagram at the Lindsay List, and let's chat. I'm happy to kind of share what very small knowledge I have so far. Maybe there's something I can do that can help you, and I'm always happy to do that. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.